All right, y'all. Happy full moon. Happened about 20 minutes ago. Unfortunately, it got super clouded out. I was ready to go at like 6 earlier. I had a perfect shot for a moment, and then it went completely white out. So we had a 99.9% full moon. Let me adjust it so we can see a bit better. Clouds just cleared, tiny bit, but not really. I did feel like I should just come on, say what's up. I'll be right there. It's going to be jumping back and forth for a couple like old times, so bear with me. Hopping in the chat to say also Merry Christmas. Hope everybody had a good holiday or is having a great holiday. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Hit that 4K. Say hi to Astralis Ren, Ellie, Amy G, Shockwave, Al, Dank, and whoever else is hopping in tonight. Hope you're all doing great and are feeling good tonight. What is it? It's a Tuesday, 12/26, day after Christmas. And yeah, I'll be on for a little bit. We'll see how this goes. I don't think we'll get that much visibility, but maybe we will. We'll see. Talk about a few things, wrap up the year, and yeah, I'm a little bit frazzled because I just was like about to give up and then it cleared, and so I had to reset up everything once again, get back on here real quick. So let's see. Yeah, I don't see any Luna right now, but let me play a song. Let me try and adjust the view for optimal viewing, and I'll be back in a couple. Get my drink too. Let's settle in for the ride on some syncopated television. Maybe play some live tunes as well. Last full moon of the year. I'm drawing a moon for Shockwave. Yeah, it's totally clouded out, but we got a little peak, and I guess I'm going to let it sit here on the live view for a moment, and then when I lose the view entirely, then I'll switch to this recorded clip, and we'll just watch them in a little bit in hindsight. I see Z Proxy in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see if I can continue drawing the moon. Where's a little paint program? So yeah, Mare Imbrium right there, right? And then we got like Plato crater, like Sinus Iridum, Aristarchus, Copernicus, Kepler, and then the Apennine mountain range. Just doing some silly stuff here tonight. Mare Serenitatis, Tranquillitatis, Mare Crisium right here, Proclus, Fecunditatis over here, Langrenus, Nectaris, and lots of other stuff. Tycho right there. Woo! Alright, we got Scribbled Moon. Hopefully Luna will come out soon. Otherwise, what's been going on? I had all these things to talk about the other night, and then it got really cloudy, so I missed it. And what videos have I been watching? Of course, I think Rupert put out another video. Maybe I'm wrong. Thunderbolts Project put out a video. That was Matt Finn, I think, talking about, what was it? Volcanic lava tubes on the moon and Grand Canyon. Actually, I really liked that he went over and did Schroeder's Valley and Aristarchus and talked about that. I think there's a lot of dispute in the community as to whether, Thunderbolts Project can be debunked or not, but it's really great to see it perpetuate as long as it has and help people get through this scientific fog that we live through. What else was I listening to I want to talk about? I guess today I was listening to a bunch of Alan Watts, which I always do, but today was a lot. It was good to stay centered. He was talking about the value of opposites and how we should teach children, like really early on, this idea of you can't have one without the other, the self and other. And I thought that, he said it so articulately, and I was thinking one day I'd like to kind of do a video where I either play clips of Alan Watts and then comment on it, or actually get some of his texts and read them, and then we can discuss it a little bit better. But I'm thinking about what else did he say? He was talking about the game of opposites, and then he was talking about this idea of taking memory through death, this stuff that Dan Winter talks about. Actually, that's a good segue. I'll get back to that. Yeah, the moon is super sharp tonight. Hilarious. Did I say hi to Z Proxy? What's up, Z Proxy? You can really see the crater edges. Love it. What's up, Jimbo? See you in the chat. What's going on? Yeah, just waiting for some clouds to clear here. I'm not sure it will, but like I said, I'll put on some recorded moon after I lose total view here. Let me see what else I was thinking about. Yeah, I was listening to Alan Watts talk about death and how taking memory through death is one of these things that you think you want, but do you really want that? This idea of we get refreshed every time we come into a new life. The same way when we sleep, we get refreshed, and we don't want to carry on and perpetually keep every single lifetime stored forever. The whole thing with death is that we get to have this big refresh on the life cycle. The same way when you sleep, it's like a refresh on the day and night cycle. And at the quantum scale, of course, it's the fluttering in and out of the quantum foam. But fluttering in and out of this life as a vibration or an oscillation, we get this idea that the wave gets refreshed. And so we get to never be bored. We're always surprised by what's next. And that's the answer to why we don't remember stuff from the afterlife. And why we shouldn't want to actually think about this idea of like eternal life or immortality, because the gift of life is that we get refreshed, in so many words. Yeah, Z Proxy, sorry. My brain's not not all here tonight. Oh, look at that. I think we got some Luna, some clouds falling here. Let me hide this little scribbly moon and go adjust our aperture. Ooh, hell yeah. Look at this. Oh, wait. Is my tracking off? Yeah, my tracking is off. Dang. being pretty naughty by not checking this. There we go. Got a touch of Luna. So yeah, it looks like it's not perfectly full, but it actually is the most illuminated in the in this phase. It's 99.9%. See a little bit of waning on the right-hand side, but still gorgeous. Let's see. Astralis says yes, I think in relation to the Alan Watts reference about refreshing. Says surfing all those intermediate states. I like that. Shockwave says soon we won't be able to see Saturn's rings. They will change orientation so we only see a super thin slice that they are. Yeah, that should be fun. I guess it would be good to scope at that point. I don't think I've ever scoped when Saturn's rings were at that particular angle. I think yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, I thought my tracking was on. I'm not sure what's going on. I guess it's drifting a little bit. So yeah, I was listening to a bunch of Alan Watts, and then, yeah, let me segue back to the Dan Winter stuff. So remember I was talking a bunch about Dan Winter a few shows ago, and I think I didn't do him justice because, one, I wasn't articulating it. I hadn't listened to him in a while, and I think I muddied up a little bit what he was saying in terms of the terminology and semantics of it. But in essence, I was talking about how he has this polarity where one side of him is truly deeply connected to how the physics of the metaphysics works, and it's really amazing. And I completely buy into it. But then on the other side, he completely also buys into the extraterrestrial existence, the Galactic Federation, the meeting with the different entities and the communiques and all the emissaries. And I don't mean to put it down because I think a lot of people love it, but it was interesting because he had a video with this guy who actually sort of put him to the test and got him to a place where it was very interesting, where he said, where he kind of got a little flustered. Basically the guy was saying, hey, all this science is great, but this whole idea about the alien stuff, like, why don't they reveal themselves to us? Or like, why does it take so long? Or why is it just, basically the kind of questions that I would want to ask him. And this guy pressed him, and you could see that he cracked a little bit. And it's the first time you really see Dan Winter kind of like either, a little exasperated with his questioning. Usually he's giggling and always kind of making light of things, but this guy flustered him because he said, why are these aliens just or ETs revealing themselves just to some people? Why don't they see the urgency of what's going on and just fully reveal themselves to everybody as needed? And so Dan Winter gets into this place where he starts to sound like pretty much everybody in the ufology community, where it's like, just you wait, it's right around the corner. Disclosure, right around the corner. And we've been right around the corner for so long, if any of y'all remember, but if you're just new to it, that's kind of the thing. It's always been right around the corner where disclosure is going to happen or something's going to happen. The ETs are going to come down and reveal themselves. It's always coming. But that's why it's something where it's very funny how, one, it was the video that I had imagined, right? Somebody really pressing Dan Winter about this topic. But it happened right after I mentioned it. And then similarly, it was interesting to see his reaction because I've always wanted to see how he would react to something like that, where it's like, there's really no way of proving anything that Elena Danaan says. There's no way of proving that except to put it all together in a big story. And the narrative, like, he was so dead set. He was like, if I've been following it for 30 years, and you guys really better listen to me, and like, you're really missing out if you don't acknowledge the ET history. And it's hard to buy it. It's hard to see the reason that we even need an extraterrestrial involvement in Earth at all, like at the very essence of it. So anyway, I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it, but it was just like one of those things. So yeah, if you check out anything by Dan Winter, you'll see one of his recent videos. You'll see that guy kind of put him to the test. It's interesting. I see, who do I see in the chat? I see Tetrapodum. What's going on? Greetings and best wishes. Annette, I see you in the chat. How you doing? All right, let me play a song here. I'll be back in a couple of seconds, couple of minutes.
Feel what you feel, you got to know when to speak. Better believe me, this is what you seek. Love what you know, you got to learn how not to fall. Better believe it, want to tell you all. Think what you want, but I can't listen to the news.
interrupt this song for a moment because the moon's going to disappear in a little bit. Figured I'd talk to y'all while it's happening. Excuse me. So, yeah. Wanted to say hi to Miguel. What's going on? Welcome. You can see it's pretty fogged out tonight. Pretty fogged up. And just, yeah, I figured I'd hop on tonight. Let me just cough this out. Excuse me, I got a frog in the throat. I think that's a little better. That's a little better. Yeah, a little frog in the throat. So, yeah, last full moon of the year, even through all this thick fog, thick clouds. Just enjoying the night. A little bit frazzled. Wanted to stream, then couldn't. Now I'm streaming, have all this stuff to say. But just starting to relax a little here. Like I was talking about, and Shockwave was mentioning, I was mentioning this whole thing about Dan Winter having this amazing science about how we implode the etheric field around us by interacting with it, and that is what consciousness is. I think that's like just an absolutely brilliant breakdown and scientific approach and thinking behind how we are conscious and how the world works. But then on the flip side, he also completely buys in and has studied this for years, this idea about extraterrestrial involvement in the human race and in our technology at a certain point in the past and still now today. And so for me, it's not one of these things where like I'm out to kind of nitpick people. You know, I end up doing it anyway, but my point is just that it's very difficult to buy into the whole extraterrestrial story, because I think at the essence of it, there's this, there's an ulterior kind of feeling behind it. It's like, if aliens, then we can. And it's a disempowerment scenario. Let me adjust the moon again. Unfortunately, my tracking is pretty bad tonight for some reason. Are we still in Mercury retrograde? All right, let's just adjust. But yeah, my whole point is that it's hard to prove one way or another, but I think we don't really need an extraterrestrial involvement by, you know, to have life as we know it today. That's my point. I feel like we would have gotten here regardless of extraterrestrial involvement, and the reason being is that we are a fractal, recursive fractal of the entire system. So we are not separate entities from Earth or insects or other beings. And any creature that we see with our eyes or sense with our field will look similar to us, because we are co-creators of reality and we see things in our own image. And this idea that humans would have just ended up really at a loss without extraterrestrial involvement is just such a weird, it's maybe gatekeeping, but maybe it's more of a salvationist scenario where if you don't have this extraterrestrial involvement, then we'll never be saved, or we'll never be free, or we can never be intelligent or superpowered. And I think it's an empowerment thing, right? It's like, at least it was for me at some point, you know, years ago when I completely bought into the Stephen Greer gospel about disclosure. And then you realize, you're like, why do I even want this to happen? And why would anyone actually reveal this if it were true? And then it got me to the point of thinking, you know, when I did the show years ago, I used to think about it. I'm like, well, humans can build all this stuff, right? And that, to me, became the overriding premise. I was like, well, I think humans can actually build all the stuff that we see. Therefore, it's way more reasonable that all the extraterrestrial, quote-unquote, stuff is human-based stuff. But the story is there to keep people afraid, keep people hoping, keep people disempowered. But electric universe, or electric theory, or unified field theory, so the gospel of intermingling electric universe and Rupert Sheldrake's morphogenic fields, Alan Watts' Zen theory, Eileen McCusick's biofield theory, and Jeffrey Walensky's stellar metamorphosis, Don Scott's electric star, Pierre-Marie Robitaille's electric sun model, Ralph Jurgen's work on the moon and scarification, plus Andy Hall, Michael Steinbecker, and many others who do all this work in Electric Universe, and kind of, there are others I'm sure I haven't mentioned, but of course, the Godfather, what's his name? Not Walensky, Jesus Christ. Velikovsky, Jeffrey Velikovsky. So shout outs to Jeffrey Walensky for his stellar metamorphosis theory that, you know, a lot of people have never heard of, and a lot of people are scared of, but for me it opened up a huge world, so to speak, of ideas and possibilities for how the universe works. Let me just readjust the moon once again. For those unfamiliar with stellar metamorphosis, right, we're talking about the idea that all planets come from stars. That's where you can cook a planet at the center of a star. This idea that accretion models, where matter clumps together and then creates its own gravity and becomes a planet, seems way more far-fetched than stars baking or birthing a planet. So that puts everything into perspective in terms of our solar system, in terms of looking at all the planets as different ages of the same object. Similarly with the periodic table, if you look at it in terms of vibrational lattice, you'll see that potentially the periodic table, I mean, from my perspective, but of course people will disagree, but if you follow, where did I hear it? I heard it on this channel, The Dyslexic Artist Theory on Physics and Time. And if you look up dyslexic artist and physics, you'll find the channel. So this cat has been posting for a lot of years on YouTube and has a brilliant concept of the frame of reference, and talks about the golden spiral, talks about a lot of, you know, it's a bridge between Dan Winter's collapsible neg-entropy idea and also this idea that we quantum entangle with our etheric reality to create the reality that we see. So Dyslexic Artist talked about a periodic table that is an emergent property of reality, which it's really all based on resonance, and the entire periodic table is based on different resonances of the same element, basically a hydrogen atom resonating at much different frequencies along a golden mean spiral emanating from a Z-pinch of plasma, creates all the elements that we see on the periodic table. Did I lose the moon again? I did. So I see Fantasy, what's going on? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to y'all. I'm going to adjust the moon one more time. I'm probably not going to realign because well, should I try and do that? Maybe I should. Give me a moment here. Let's see. Maybe we can just set up alignment. I think that's fine. So those are some ideas wrapping up the year. Those are the same ideas I've been talking about for a few years. Of course, this past year and a half, integrating Jeffrey Walensky's idea of stellar metamorphosis, which I think hopefully one day will catch on. Maybe it's still a little too early. But yeah, so tell me in the chat how y'all have been. What are you drinking tonight? Can you see the moon? How was your Christmas and or holiday? And I guess today is the first day of Kwanzaa and or whatever you celebrate. I feel like it's been a very interesting and very cool year, at least for me. It's been a little more chill than it was 2 years ago, but I guess that's the same for everybody. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a little bit more time, personal time in 2024 for studying, for observing. Let me see what else. I was thinking perhaps get into some solar observation at some point. It's a pretty hefty investment to get one of these Lunt scopes, which has the correct types of filtration systems to view prominence and to view the activity on the sun in detail, the granules and the filaments. But I'd really love to get into that one day, so could be next year. And then finally, I guess, not finally, but like a big part of it is I'd love to start working on this theory of everything or theory of nothing, theory of something and nothing documentary and merging all these theories and tying all the threads together. But I think it's something that's going to take me a long time, given that I've already started, but it feels like I barely scratched the surface in terms of putting together the ideas. All right, let me just adjust this one more time. Yeah, partially because I think that at some point, even though, you know, we don't want to speed up AI, that I'll probably be able to run my videos through an AI system and have it put together all the best pieces, transcribe it, and I'll be able to put together a better kind of compilation video of all the theories, maybe the best way I've articulated it in certain videos. I feel like sometimes it comes across much more clearly, and sometimes I'm just, sounds like I'm rambling, I'm sure. Let's read the chat here. Fantasy says, still trying to figure out how to get my setup for streaming. Can't get OBS to recognize the camera. You wouldn't buy a solar scope, not worth the money. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I was looking at the Quark Daystar filter, which is like a $1,200 thing, and you can put it on the back of the Nexstar. But we'll see. We'll see, something like that. Mig says, drinking just water, being optimistic. I think next year can't be worse than this one. All right, I'm down with that kind of vibe. Everybody's kind of in that doomer mindset. I'm optimistic too. We'll see how it goes. It has been something I've been thinking about a lot, which is this idea of like, the fact is, for me it seems like no matter how bad things can seem, every second that passes, every moment that we interact with seems like the best time that's ever existed. And also potentially the worst time that's ever existed, but it's also the best time that's ever existed, moment to moment that we experience. And if the reason I think that is because if you try and kind of rewind the clock and think about a time that was better, and you really start to list off the pros and cons of it, you'll realize that this is still the best time that has ever existed as far as we know. All right, time for a little break. I think we finally got a clear moon for a second. The clouds actually cleared. So let's see how long we get this beautiful view for. Maybe it's worth playing some tunes here. Boom. Luna. Luna, Luna. That's good. That's a good shot right there. So, I think you got to adjust the focus a little bit here. Hot dang. I think it's okay now. Let's see. That'll do. No, come back. Just when I thought it was working. I think it'll be okay. Here we go. I'm gonna stop messing with it for a minute. Ellie Wynn, sorry to hear that. Past year was hellish. I really hope that next year is better, or that today is better. Or right now is a little bit better. Can you hear me okay over here with the guitar? Let's just play a song. Tetrapodum says, has been a pretty wild has been pretty wild this year for me personally. Maybe that's just the spirit these days, to endeavor these challenges. I like that. I agree with that. Keeps life surprising and interesting. I hope you find your way like an atom. We've gone so off to play. You know it's ugly to do so. I hope you find your way. Hope you find another way. But it's just how we do. That's just how we do. I hope you find your way today, next year. Sometimes it all seems like nothing is important and you make no change, but I assure you, my friend, it's only a stage, but I hope you find your way. Hope you find your way. I need to tell you that we are all the same. Don't you believe it? Don't you all believe it? You're coming on along so strong. I just wish you all could feel it. I told you, you don't have to believe me. Just feel it. I hope it's good for you. I know it's gotta get better. Oh, it's gotta get better. Alright, a little warm up there. Time for adjust. So yeah, not only is my tracking terrible tonight, but I got this new telescope remote that doesn't have an extender. So double whammy. But we got each other for a second here. Just for a second. I said boxes and boxes, your infinite toxins all got something to say. Indestructible ideas are vanishing, aimlessly wandering away. The nation crawls insatiable into our nighttime activities. Your liberty, what can you say? You're my sister and I love you forever. I say you're my brother and I love you forever. I'm gonna tune this actually, sorry. That's the culprit. You're my sister and I love you forever. Spend time, spend time, spend time. You're my brother and I love you forever. Ooh, love you for all I recall. I knew the sun, the elements of fallen graces. Watch out, all we love is from the one. And healing roams and body races. Whoa, would you tell me what you like? I got so much love for you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. You're my sister and Oh, my brother, love you forever. Rainbows and butterflies, I see you in the chat. Heart, heart, heart. What's going on? Genghis Khan. Those relaxing days and clear night skies. To the electric souls and TBS tribe. TBS tribe. Oh, relaxing days and clear night skies. Relaxing nights and clear day skies. Relaxing days and clear night skies. Clear night skies. Oh, electric souls and TBS tribe. Oh, electric souls and TBS tribe. Try. Oh, try. TBS tribe. TBS try. Yo, Mr. 1-to-1, I see ya. That's you and I's disgrace falls away. I've known your way, but we'll synthesize a new place. We'll bring together just another day in this way. We'll bring love home to me, Mama and Dad. We'll bring memories, but not from the promised land, not just yet. All right, I think I might actually set the alignment one more time. Let's try it. Quick break here.
Colors anymore.
tonight, just since I know y'all know this song. It's unlike me to cut my own songs off, but let's do it tonight just because I got the moon adjusted. I think it's alright now. A little bit better. I think I just play some live tunes here while we're here. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. As always, appreciate you. Life delivers. You know we will survive. And now we cross the river. And so we may surmise. Your time, tell me what's left for me. You've done your crime, tell me what's left of it. Let's bring the rest of it. Ooh, making the best of it. We left your heart at the wheel. You gotta steal slowly, you got to give to reach it in the end. So now we will float across the river. You know we will survive. The cost of life delivers. Oh, you know we'll. Oh, so we may surmise and keep loving our lives. Seems like you know the deal, you know it's real. Something you got to deal to reach it in the end. So, oh, we falling, racing that fire, hoping your heart to the dream. Yeah, yeah. Slowly we burn as it rages and hold on to me. Only if you're ready, I know we will survive. But we don't love the trouble, so we can survive. Oh, till the great sunrise. Oh yeah, you know it will. The cost of life delivers. You had your time. Cyber Sally, I see you. What's going on? Alright, what songs do I have here? Okay. just come feel this ride so higher. Love I'm craving. Oh, just don't feel it till you're you bring me back. Just bring me back. I need your love. Oh, you bring me back. Just bring me back. Da, 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 da. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, inside of me, I feel the meaning of my soul. Oh, inside of me. Oh, oh, each side of me. Da, 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 da. Bring me back. Yeah, bring me back. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah, bring me back, bring me back, bring me back, yeah. Oh, oh, bring me back, yeah. All right, I haven't played that one in a while. Let's see, I'll adjust it a bit more. Get a touch of clarity. Is it too much still? There we go. So yeah, it's already hitting the top of my windowsill. That's the dimness. But we got a little moon tonight, after all. Where's NGC? Missing NGC. And our other friends. Hope you're doing great if you're checking this out tomorrow. 'Forgot how to play this one. Sort of. Just having some fun here tonight, y'all. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. Anybody new that I missed? If I didn't chat you out, let me know. Let's see. Alright, we'll try this one. 700 lives we live. In a sense, I've known you forever. 7,000 lines are read. Soul inside your bubble mind, racing tonight. Interval divided, one novel at a time. No, would you know the life we had? And still we live our love so bad. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. Oh, it was always do that bushy boogie. Ooh, do that bushy boogie. Oh, it's like the perception's got it, fractal harmonic diction, slowly giving rise to the carnival. We got so far, reservation guest stars. Never mind this old honeymoon, we can make some art. Wrap yourself in beautiful, subtle energies, yeah. I told you once, it over. You've known this forever. Don't screw that part up, 'cause it was always electrical. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. It was always electrical. Bushy, oh, do that bushy boogie. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do that bushy boogie. Yeah, I messed that up at the end. It's all good. It's all good. What other songs do we got? I forgot that one. Oh, deep inside my soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul, I keep you waiting. Oh, deep inside my soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul, I keep you waiting. I keep you. Somehow I remember bad times in the dust, only everyone is us. We staged it once and there was mistrust, relapse in view and ignored the due. I lived it once and for goodness sake now enter true and tell the world what's new. Hues and blues broken from the west as the scene rising from the west. Open tide, oh see my rivers wide, close inside, oh see my waves tonight. Oh, deep inside my soul you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside my soul, you keep me waiting. Oh, you keep me waiting. Oh, you keep me waiting. Oh, you keep me, you keep me, you keep me, you keep me waiting. Keep you waiting. TM. Yeah, that top darkness is my windowsill eclipse. I'm gonna keep going here with the tunes. Drift, you let me share your armor, left me with this payment for my own old father. just inseparable like motion and desire. All our scars that really faded won't retire. Just believe you're so endless traveling. Oh, just believe you're so endless traveling. Past the pawns on the electric solar sphere, my descriptions of what a life was near. And then you were gone, you were gone. I was reflected lines, and we was erased from time. No will as weird as mine, no weird as weird as mine. No way, just believe you're so endless traveling. Just believe you're so endless traveling. Say, just believe you're so endless traveling. Picked up another cause, got mountains across my head. I know we just play a part, I know it's gonna end. I'll sleep through the name we cross, ascending the mother tree. Gotta believe me when I say that we'll be here again. You gotta believe me. You gotta believe. Gotta believe me. Gotta believe me. Okay. Let's see, any other songs here come to mind? It's Howling at the Moon. I'm so glad, Ellie. Appreciate it. Meg, Tetrapodum. Thanks for the kind comments, y'all. Maybe I'll just try some more and pull some ideas out of thin air, like the space up there reveals some things so deep inside. When you look so ashamed, don't you feel this way? And didn't they tell you why? Oh, they'll never tell you why. It's only what you gotta do. It's only how you gonna know. It's only what you got today. It's only how we pay for the lot of it. I'm just making up my own world sometimes. Who gives a damn anyway? I'm just making up my lost time. Making up for lost time. Alright, got a little hot there. Got a little spicy there. Yeah, let me go get some water. And take a tiny break. Watch our moon drift. I don't know if I can get the scope any closer, unfortunately. So we'll have to let her drift away. 9 p.m. feels so much later than it is, but this was our last full moon of the year, everybody. I know I haven't streamed that much this year, but we did connect a little bit. Talked about some things. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to discuss. I guess the biggest thing, I was thinking about, like, what's the biggest really thing? The The biggest thing that happened this year, I guess, rest in peace, Wall Thornhill. Rest in power. Rest in electric field. Maybe now Wall knows the answers that he was seeking. But, of course, we lost Wall. And the other thing that happened is I think a lot more people are talking about the unified field. I hear a lot more about the unified field and from different vantage points, right? Nothing really clear just yet, but that's a big one. And I think it was this year. Was it really this year? Maybe it was last year, but the whole thing with Jeffrey Walensky and stellar metamorphosis, I think that was an absolute banger idea, is an absolute banger idea, and that was a huge one. So those were 3 things. I mean, I'm sure there are many others, but those were the big ones in this space, this little space. Let me know what your moment of electric space was this year, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. What song shall we do? How about Huracan? It's the Huracan.
Don't slow me while you sleep. No way for the ones you love. And I crawl inside you. Fly. You're my hurricane. No sleep when I lost you. No sleep when I lost you. You're my hurricane. No fear when I lost you. No fear when I lost you. You're my empty on my counter beach, radical ocean and cheers we saw all I hear, and so many words of the naked and the birds below the beach. Your summer's rain. Oh, tell me the way you feel. Slide over me. Slide over me. You would dream sweet.
That's a little better. Got a few more minutes with the moon. Had to adjust it, but yeah. Whew. It's gotten hot. Started off kind of chilly earlier. Now I'm schwitzing. So, what else can we talk about? Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts in the comments. But yeah, it's been a very interesting year. Like I was saying, lots of people talking about this unified field theory. People like, I guess, who did I listen to this year? A lot of. I kind of dug into a bunch of these people that I know what I was listening to that I meant to talk about. So I finally dug into Demystify Science, Anastasia and Shiloh, and I actually gave a bunch of their shows, like their long form podcasts with some of these guests, some real deep listening, and I don't think I'd done that. At least I haven't done that for a year or two since they started, when they first had Pierre-Marie Robitaille on and Alexander Unziker. So they've definitely upped the format, and I really listened and really kind of grasped where they're coming from. I don't know why it took me so long. I guess it's a little bit because those first few episodes made me feel like it was another one of these shows where they would touch on alternative theories but not really make any headway into suggesting new theories or new ideas, anything firm or anything substantive. And I guess I can take that back, because they are talking about things that I think are very interesting, and they do press their guests, especially Anastasia. So I think that was good. That was an interesting deep dive. I'm going to do a lot more, but if you haven't checked out Demystify Science podcast, then please do. I think, what was I listening to? I was listening to a couple. One with Alexander Unziker, of course, and who's the other guy? There was one guy talking about, was it gyrochronology? It was something where Shiloh brought up the fact that Jeffrey Walensky, did he talk about Jeffrey Walensky? He said something in reference to stellar metamorphosis, and I was thinking, like, Jeffrey Walensky is literally in the chat, like literally in the comments, and he doesn't get enough, I think, don't get enough respect, but I don't think he gets really shouted out like very clearly. This idea that he proposes about how planets are essentially the cores of ancient stars, and stars are the only forms of life that we know that can bake a planet at the center. Is it perfectly correct? Who knows? But the point is that when I heard him discuss this idea, and it's not just him, it's this, I think this cat named Daniel Archer, and I think there's another guy who actually kind of helps with the diagrams, but it's really Jeffrey's channel that I found, and when he was talking about stellar metamorphosis. So I really kind of, it's the same thing with Sky Scholar. Like, Pierre-Marie Robitaille has Jeffrey in the chat and kind of just avoids this idea and avoids talking about putting these things together, is what I'm saying. So same thing with Demystify Science. Like, I feel like they're aware of all these different players in the game, and that, you know, Rupert and Electric Universe and Jeffrey and Pierre-Marie, and they're friends with Alexander Unziker, but there's just the recent videos that I watched from a few months back. I find like Shiloh and Anastasia are working through their own preconceived notions of things, and plus they're scientists, like with doctorates and stuff in biology, and so I feel like they're kind of in this different place where they, you know, they have to work within the academic world, or at least Shiloh does. So there is this kind of like, are things like this kind of mentality versus things could be this way, this kind of direct assessment or directly deriving new ideas or suggesting anything, right? So I feel like when Shiloh brought up stellar metamorphosis, he brought it up in, you know, so loosely, but when you think about it, the idea is so powerful. It's so stupidly powerful that how can it be an aside? You know, how can you just mention it as like, oh yeah, this one guy with 779 subscribers came up with pretty much the answer to how planets are formed in one fell swoop, and just he kind of mentions, oh yeah, that guy. And it's just so strange. It's like within the past month, you're telling me that you haven't really dug into this idea because... So, but I did give it another chance, and I think what they're doing is great, and the production value is amazing. And they invite all these different great people on who I wish I could interview, but who knows? They'll find their way. Let's see. Tetrapodum says, totally agree on the Demystify podcast. Great stuff happening there. So many people from and around Thunderbolts are on there already. The overall premise the hosts aim at is extraordinary. Welcome to everyone involved. It is. I think like the whole, like I said, I think they both have interesting personalities. Like Anastasia, I think, is a little bit more, I kind of vibe with her putting people to the test idea. It might be a little abrupt maybe, but I think she's right on point where she stops people and says, hey, like, what do you really mean by this? Hey, what are you actually inferring when you talk about this? So I dig that. But then Shiloh has a little bit of that, I'm a professor and I have this thing where I'm assessing all factors here, and let's think about all these different ways we could approach this problem. And so for me, that's just a little bit too, I don't know. Maybe it's just not like, maybe I haven't listened to them enough. But that's how I felt about it. I felt a little bit like if you've watched any of Jeffrey's videos on stellar metamorphosis, especially the main one about the sequence of stars where it just goes on, it's like a 2.5-minute animation. If you're not affected by that, I just don't understand personally. So I feel like even if you completely disagree with it, the fundamental idea is so powerful and mind-breaking that if you're not really making like a whole show, like nobody has Jeffrey Walensky on, that's really weird, right? Like Sky Scholar doesn't refer to him. I'm a big defender because I really think when I listen to him talk, like this is really about trying to figure things out. Like he really doesn't care about being famous and doesn't care, like it's not an ego trip at all. It doesn't seem like. So anyway, if Jeffrey's listening, shout out for keeping on doing what you're doing. And I at least appreciate your theories. So there's Stellar Metamorphosis. There was Demystify Science. Of course, we got to be grateful that we still have Rupert Sheldrake around making videos. So, you know, I don't want to say I pedestalized him a little too much, but I did... Over the years, you know, I've always mentioned Rupert, Alan Watts, Eileen Sheldrake, Eileen McCusick, and some others that I refer to over and over and over again. And Rupert has never disappointed, really. He's really... I do have, of course, my issues a little bit with this idea of, you know, I guess he talks a lot about him going to church and having faith, and I think it doesn't push the science of what he talks about in terms of morphogenetic fields as far as I think it could go. I think that's my only real nitpick with it, even though I get where he's coming from on it, and this is what he wants to do. And so for what he's given us in terms of information, you know, I cannot judge his balance of the topics that he wants to talk about. And it kind of made me think about right now just Ian McGilchrist, if anyone's followed Ian McGilchrist. He's one of those cats that is in those circles. He talks to Rupert, has his own shows, and he has, you know, a similar idea about the unified field, but also coming at it from a more religious, kind of older, more antiquated standpoint. But that's beside the point. The point that I was trying to make is appreciating that we have Rupert Sheldrake around. Let's see. Tetrapodum says, did you suggest some of these names? Always worth reaching out. Well, the thing is, that's what I was saying. They were interviewing this guy. I think it was one of the last 5 videos, and they were talking about planetary formation. And Shiloh was saying something to the effect of, they were explaining how the accretion model works of clumping matter together, and the guy was talking about planetary physics. And it was one little section where Shiloh kind of took it off, which I hoped he would, where he said something to the effect of, you know, other people think that the accretion model is not necessarily the only concept that we have. And the guy, you know, kind of shuffled a little bit, but then it didn't go anywhere. And that's what I was nitpicking, which is, Jeffrey Walensky exists. He has the video about stellar metamorphosis. It's really a simple idea that's profound. And it kind of is funny how, like, someone like as brilliant as Shiloh would not give it a little bit more time to kind of dig into the idea, present the idea to this guy and to the guest, and kind of have a discussion back and forth about, wait, is matter clumping together by, you know, into these pebbles and small boulders and then becoming an Earth? Or are Earths cooked at the center of a star and formed under high intense pressure, right? It's a simple idea, and I find it funny that, like, I have to sit there and listen and think, like, what? Like, what's... And then you have somebody like Jeff Walensky who's in the chat, like, I want to say in the chat, in the comments, you know, listening to these podcasts and commenting. And yet, and Demystify goes through their comments, and they like and they heart stuff and they respond, and yet there's no crossover. And look, maybe I'm being a little... I feel like I'm being impatient, but you see what I'm saying in terms of, yeah, there's like this kind of like, let's keep debating it as long as we can, as opposed to coming down on some consensus. That's really, I think, the point. And the academic side too. It's like, in the academic world, it's gauche to say you come up with an answer to things. You know, you're not supposed to come up with answers. You're supposed to have perpetual questions. Perpetual questions. All right, we've got a little more moon left here. I'm going to try and stream like on New Year's Eve or something, or in the next couple of days, but if I don't, I'm just trying to wrap up all the topics of the year. So yeah, Demystify is cool. Hell yeah, Rupert Sheldrake. Downloaded the Alan Watts archive this year, or at least a few months ago, and I'm absolutely loving it. So huge recommendation to download from the Alan Watts Foundation, his entire library. It's all this stuff that you've definitely heard on YouTube if you like Alan Watts, but if you're obsessed, you'll also find maybe 50 different lectures that you've never heard before. Blows my mind. Tetrapodum says, I can very much identify with my feelings on that, you know? Yeah, it's one of those things. I think, of course, I could chalk it up, like, again, as me being impatient with everything, you know? Everybody has their own schedule in terms of, you know, upending their entire scientific belief system and narrative. You know, it's going to take some time. For me, I was ready when I saw, like, I was looking for accretion disk dissenters, basically. I was looking for somebody like Jeffrey Walensky, and that's how I found stellar metamorphosis, because I was looking for that exact idea. And then I found that this guy had come up with it, and it's great. So Cybercelly says, so many theories, so little proof. Well, that's a good segue into kind of putting a bow on why things are as they are. And I think if we take it back to the idea of self and other, matter and antimatter, seeing the subject against the background, seeing the seeds of the apple, the size of the seeds of an apple in relation to how big the flesh of the apple is, the magnetic fields of Earth in relation to the size of Earth, the electron shells of an atom in relation to the nucleus, and the relation of the human biofield to the actual individual body. When you take this proportion, you realize that the nature of reality is a big background with points on it in so many, you know, not to simplify it down to this idea, which is the very fabric, the structure of reality is such that people must stay in the dark about the answers. Most of the world is going to stay asleep because that is the way you get lost in the dream. And I know I didn't really poetically link those two things, but it's basically a relational property of life that we have all this chaos and that we get this really distilled amazingness from all this chaos. It falls in line with the idea of collapsing a wave into a particle. It falls into the idea from Dan Winter where we create neg-entropic implosions as our conscious reality. It takes into account quantum entanglement, how they explain our current consciousness. And it also explains metaphysically, in terms of Eileen McCusick and Electric Universe, how you have an etheric plasma bubble in relation to your body, and the whole body is both the self and the field. It's not just the physical body. The thoughts that you have, what's inside your head, is what you see outside your body. But in order for the system to work, 90% of people and creatures have to stay in the dark in order to keep the system going. And so the segue back to what you're saying, so many theories, so little proof, is that you could say that, but you could also say that so many theories and all the proof that you want. You just have to pick and, find what you like and choose that, because it's purely perspective and experience. If you decide something is proof for your theory, then it is. It doesn't have to be consensus driven. So yeah, the nature of the reality is that we have to have all this trouble in order to have these incredible experiences. And similarly, it's the same reason that we have this similarity and ever so slight differences, right? Where you can have 8 billion people who essentially look the same and all look slightly different enough to have a resonant experience in this reality from a different perspective. And then from the top of the show, we're carrying death through memory. It doesn't make sense, because the idea of life is to refresh, to constantly have a fresh, fun, surprising experience. If we knew everything, and we knew for sure that every lifetime that we'd get into another lifetime and another lifetime, we would lose interest. And so the very nature of reality is to keep us excited and keep us surprised. And if you take this one step further, where you ask yourself the question, who is thinking? Who made my body? Who made my eyeballs? Who stores the memories? Who interacts with the world? You realize that you are the embodiment of the totality, the whole, the God, the Godhead, the etheric resonance. We are the very essence of the thing happening. We are the happening of all things. And from that perspective, you decided, or we decided, I decided, and you decided individually to have this experience where 90% of people are in the dark about things, so that the dream can perpetuate, so that the illusion can perpetuate. So I feel like we can dovetail everything back to, are you going to be the person that digs really deeply into this reality and gets lost? Or are you somebody who wants to uncover everything and be aware of all the things happening? And equally valid. All right, so this moon's going to drift away. I'm getting a little hungry here. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the chat. Did I miss any topics? I mean, I'm thinking about some channels that I watched. I was saying all these different people I watched, like Bernardo Kastrup. I watched some of his stuff this year. Daniel Dennett I dug into Michael C. Levin, bioelectricity, Donald Hoffman's idea of the interface reality, Nima Arkani Hamed. I looked into the idea of Markovian chains, and this idea from Donald Hoffman to like this, there's the Gareth Lisi amplituhedron, this idea that there's this fundamental geometry, and they're basically on the bridge of figuring this out, but we're not really consolidated just yet, let's put it that way. Who else did I listen to? I was going to mention special mention of Nassim Haramein. So if you know Nassim, I used to say Nassim, but he says Nassim. Nassim Haramein has been putting out some really incredible content. So if you check out his recent videos on the proton and the quantum state and the Planck state of reality, you'll see that there's a very, very interesting kind of not only paper, but fundamental understanding and experiments that they're working on, he and his team, which I think bridges electric universe with metaphysics, with quantum field implosion, from Dan Winter with all these different theories. There's a great bridge. I'm kind of stuttering just because there's so much information in there, but if you check out Nassim Haramein, I think he's doing incredible work. Special shout out. All right. So yeah, 2023, wrapping it up. Put a couple of songs here, and we'll start, yeah. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the chat, what you're planning on doing tonight. It feels like it's like a Saturday or Friday on a Tuesday. Another Friday on a Tuesday. I love it. Basically stringing together vacations, one of these things that you just feel completely disconnected from the work world, which is good. It's definitely good sometimes. All right, back to close it up in a second. Oh man, I realized I didn't have the mic on, and I gave like a shout out to everybody. But unless I did and I'm going crazy, but the mic looked like it was off. Anyway, I was basically saying thanks to everybody, and I'll catch you on a future stream one of these nights. Keep a lookout. Yeah, much love everybody, super appreciate it. All the kind comments, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you on the next TakeBackSpace stream. Bonne nuit, y'all.